G'day everyone, and welcome to the video today. So it's been a little while, I apologise, but we're back with some more races. So just have a quick look there. We got 3 races there as usual for this week. Race A being Tsukuba Circuit, Race B Interlagos in Group 3, and Race C, the one with tyre wear and fuel usage, is in Group 4 on Tokyo Expressway, the East Outer variation. So here we go, this is a qualifying lap for Race B. So in this particular session it was lap 5, and we're back in the McLaren. So after the little outage in the McLaren that we had in the previous video at Bathurst, I wanted to give it another go this week, just to see if I could try and tame the beast, so it seems. So here we are on the qualifying lap, so we're on Autodromo de Interlagos, which is in Brazil. First started getting built in 1938, completed in 1940, with the current variation introduced in the year 2000. So it's a 15 turn racetrack in Sao Paulo. So here we are, we're in the infield section now, just going around the first of the hairpin, Laranja, and then rounding out through Pinheirino, and then we're coming up to the third hairpin in a row, Bico de Pato, which translates interestingly to duckbill in Portuguese. But we're just finishing the lap here, so you saw the previous lap was a 134.128, which is, it's fine, you know, for where I am skills-wise, but we're a tenth, nearly 2 tenths up at the moment actually, as we just start the straight, the run down to the line, the straight that isn't straight is what it will be called. As we head down to the line, so we got a better run off that final, or not really the final turn 12 Juncal, heading down towards the line there. We managed to pull ahead 2 tenths, which puts us into the 33s. We've got a 33.85. While it's not fantastic, it does put us second in this lobby here. So at the moment, you can see that I'm DC rated. Not great. Of course, D being the rating just above E, because I have completed the 5 races that were in the E rating there, but C being me quitting that race at Bathurst, still trying to get my sportsmanship rating back up there. So there I am in second place. Hope you don't mind getting flashed. I know that's a bit raunchy, but anyway, enough of that. So there we are. In second place there. So we got the Mustang, that's another strong car around here. I ought to give that a go, but I just haven't got the credits to buy that Mustang at the moment. So that's the problem with me starting my new account here. Of course, the previous being my private account, but the new account here being for these videos. Very hard to get credits in this game, but here we are. We're just leading up to the line for the start of the first lap now. So we've got Devil's Grave in front of us. So he's got the number 8. You can see above his name, above his car, is number 8. So he's 8th best in the lobby, as he goes wide at the moment. So he's proving he's not number 1. But you can see just on the left front flank of my car, you can just make out a 6 there. So I'm slightly, in terms of driver rating, I'm slightly higher rated than him at the moment in the race, or I'm expected to finish above him, which is not helped by the fact that I decided to go wide going through the first of the Descida de Lagos, earning myself a 0.6 second penalty. So I was helped by the BMW that went through there, but I'm not going to place the blame on him, as I went wide in the first place. So still trying to come to terms with the decidedly lesser braking ability of this car. So we just come through Pinheirino for the first time now, as we get a tad of oversteer coming out of there. It's a very difficult corner exit, as it undulates just through the apex there. You may hear the occasional bumps as I go through that apex there, so that can really upset the car now. So I have dropped off the pack in front, or pack, I mean pair, that aren't really a pack at all, but we'll go with it. But the guy behind, with the interesting name there, not sure why he decided that was an excellent name for his Gran Turismo account, but I don't know, each to their own. But he was 7 tenths behind coming off the turn 12 there, sorry, and he just didn't follow my slipstream. He was firmly in it, and he probably would have caught up to about 3 or 4 tenths behind But no, he just didn't bother. Fair enough, you know, he can do what he wants. I'm not going to question it, especially with a name like that. So we just come down the first, or I suppose the middle straight, I guess. Just setting a purple sector there. We go slightly wide through here again, but the BMW copies what I did a lap ago, and you know, I couldn't quite get up to him to shove him even more wide. He earns himself a 0.7 second penalty, so he's going to have to serve that at some point. But you can see that I've closed the gap on him through Ferradura there, and I'm going to try and go for the overtake. It wasn't quite going to work there, but he gets a tad of oversteer and I just slam it up the inside of Pinerino. That was quite a strong move, but he had a penalty and he left it open, so I thought I'd go for it. I did grind on him a little bit. Wow, that is very Ford, but grind along the side of the car that he was in. I hope that's better phrasing of what just happened there. So, anyway, moving on. So, the penalty there is still half a second as we just fast forward down the straight, as it's not too interesting there, as we just come towards the braking zone for Senna S. So, Senna S here, turns 1, 2 and 3, you've really got to abuse this second curb just there. You've really got to put the inside wheels over the top of the curb there to really get the best run, and straight line turn 2 and 3 to get the best run onto this straight here. So just skip ahead there, sorry, coming down towards Senna S again, just turn in a touch early there, but again abuse that second curb for a straight run onto the third one as we just round out turn 3, also known as Curva del Sol, coming down towards the middle straight. So that penalty, this isn't a race where the penalties go down by themselves through the corners. You've actually got to slow down and serve that. But this is the final lap now, so we're 6 seconds behind the guy in first place. He's had a really good race, and we're 3.9 seconds in front of your yuck. I certainly hope I'm not. Please leave a like to make sure that I'm not. Make me feel better about myself. As we just come down towards Discontinued del Lago for the 5th and final time. We just put the cherry on the cake by going wide. But we'll just... when that happened, my eyes went straight up to that penalty to see what would actually happen to that. But because I let off the accelerator as I went wide and didn't get back on the power until I was back within track limits, didn't honour a penalty because the game thought, well, you know what, he's a good guy, he's slowed down, let's not give him a penalty for that one there. But here we go, around Pinerino for the 5th time, just coming up there, so we're trying to accelerate towards Bigo de Pato. Really got to get all your car onto the curb for that one to get a nice curve through there. Now this corner here, you can do it flat if you get it right, but I find that if I try to do it flat, I run wide to the point where I don't quite know if it's going to be a penalty or not, so I just played it safe and do a lift or 4, as you just saw through there. But here we go in the run up to the line, so we took a nice conservative lap there, but your yuck didn't quite catch that up, as we're just going to hit the brakes here for the penalty, and there we go, we consolidate 2nd place. So we only finished in the end 6 seconds off the leader. You can see there a good mix of cars. We got McLaren in 3rd place, Genesis in 4th place, Porsche in 5th, BMW in 6th, Beetle in 7th, Aston Martin in 8th. So you can see the top 8, all different cars. So that's really good to see, especially here in Group 3, where the leaderboards are dominated by this McLaren here. But overall, we had a better race than any other race we had at Bathurst in this car now. And there we go, confirmation of 2nd place. So I was quite happy with that one. Not a 1st place, still yet to get a 1st place. And you know, of course, that will be in a video, I suppose, if that happens. But yeah, there we go, 2nd place. So we'll just move on to the 2nd race that I'm going to show you today. So here we are, joining the session for the 2nd race, and you can see straight up, we've switched to the Audi. My apologies for before, the leaderboard is not dominated by the McLaren, it's dominated by the Audi later in the week here. The initial like the first few days of this week, it was dominated by that McLaren, but later in the week, people have decided, no, the Audi's better. So I've gone for the Audi. So let's see how we go here. We're starting way down in 8th place, or no, 7th place, someone disconnected. But we keep the lap time that we set in the McLaren. And just a quick note there, I've now gone up to CB rating, so that previous race in the McLaren, I went from DC to CB, so it really just confirms how like a clean race can really improve your ratings there. And if you want to have a look at that, just check down in the description. I've got the link to the Kudosprime website. My RFM Smokescreen stats are just directly on that link. You don't need to navigate, just click and it should load. So we just start the second race now, braking down towards Centre S at the moment. You'll see how dirty it gets as the McLaren and Viper go deep. The Aston Martin and Mustang also go deep as it gets very messy. I'll just lift off as to not go off the track as the Mercedes shoots through as we go over to the right hand side of the McLaren off the track. So you just see in front of us here the Australian comes back onto the track, touches the McLaren and drives off the track again. He earns into his teammate a 3-second penalty. That is just really, truly dirty driving. Just as the Supra knocks me off the track there, earning himself a penalty. He didn't quite catch how big it was, but I'm glad that my penalty is 0 seconds. Well, that my official penalty is 0 seconds. In the end, you can see I've dropped right off this group here, and I find myself in 9th place. So the race now turns from attacking moderately to attacking very hard, trying to catch up as many positions as possible. So you can see now on the right hand flank of my car there, or front panel bonnet, that's what it's called, there we go, is the number 7. So we've got to try and finish 7th, which is helped by the fact this McLaren goes wide and quits the race just before he comes and collects my car that's sitting on the track where he was going to rejoin. So that was very, very lucky there. So we just come around the not the final turn, I always get that wrong, turn 12, as the straight that isn't straight consists of turns 13, 14 and 15, which can be taken as one smooth curve, of course flat out, obviously. So we're just coming down towards the line for lap 2 now. So you can see everyone up ahead, or 2 people up ahead, have got themselves a penalty. So the Supra that knocked me off in the first place now goes wide on his own accord. The Viper Aspix that gave that McLaren the penalty in this exact spot a lap ago goes wide as well with his half-a-second penalty. So you can see that I go to the right-hand side now. I think we lagged slightly and I did touch him, but I couldn't really feel it, but it doesn't matter as he goes across the apex of the corner. There was nothing really I can do as he gets a tad of oversteer on the exit, and I find myself way on the outside, not quite able to get that move to stick. So here we are, sitting 2 tenths or 3 tenths behind, 5 tenths behind now that I've that I braked too much for Ferradura, turn 6 and 7. So we're just in the infield section now. He lags quite a bit, so I'm not quite sure where he is at this point. He gets a good run through turn 9 there, and I look up the inside through turn 10 there to try and get this move done, because I've wasted a whole lap trying to work out how I can get this move done on this guy here, because the last thing I want is for him to pull a similar stunt that he did to the McLaren before to me, earning myself a penalty. So he drives quite wide through turn 12 there, and I wanted to capitalise on that. I got slightly distracted, got a tad of oversteer, therefore compromising the run down the entire straight here. So I just tuck into the slipstream now. You can see I'm 5 tenths behind, so that's quite a good slipstream range there as we catch up quite a bit of time. We catch up nearly 2 tenths through that straight now as he brakes slightly early and I catch the rest of that gap up there. So he just ghosted slightly and I wanted to go through him quite quickly, but he just came out of a ghost. You can see the guy in 4th place just up ahead is lagging quite heavily, and I think he dropped out at this point if I have processed the positions correctly. In 6th place now. So you can see here the guy, that McLaren, he was off the track in coming out of turn 2 on the first lap. He's just shoved me right out of the way going through Magulo there, turn 11, earning himself a penalty. So I'm not quite sure what he was thinking there. So now he's in front, he's in the McLaren, so he's got excellent top end. You can see I'm in the slipstream here and still barely catching up. So we just come towards Senator S. For the 4th time, he brakes well early, and I just touched the back of him in the braking zone. I had full left lock on the steering because I knew it was going to happen, but it didn't quite happen, so I back off, and the Supra there capitalizes on the fact that I was backing off to let the McLaren back through, and I end up now in 8th place from 6th. So, really not a good couple of corners there, so let's just see what we can do to bring this bad boy home as we just brake towards Discontinued del Lago. So we all miss the apex, of course, by virtue of individual mistakes, no forced errors. So now we'll just talk slightly about the car that I'm driving, the Audi. Stock, 585 horsepower. It's been in the game since day one, as we just get a tad of oversteer through there, coming towards the first of the hairpins, as I capitalise on the Supra taking quite a wide entry line, and I just bump him on his right hand side, deciding it was a dirty move and backing off and letting him back through. So let's see what we can do. Up here he brakes quite early, and I go up the gap there. I just knock him slightly on the way out, but I think I was well on the inside. Do let me know if you think that was a dirty move, but I thought it was alright, so I let it happen. We just come through Senator S for the 5th time as that Viper ahead goes wide again, as we kiss all the apices through the Senator S and Covetous Soul there. So you can see the group up ahead. I'm just really kicking myself that I'm not a part of that group there, because look at it, it looks so juicy and tender. Look at all the positions there, oh my goodness. Really love to be a part of that. As you can see, the Mercedes actually gets ejected from the group there, and I make up that position to 6th place again. So let's see what we can do from here until the end of the lap now, but let's see if we can just tame the R8 here. So the MR, mid-engine rear-wheel drive, the known as MR drivetrain, really difficult in terms of oversteer, so it gets a lot of oversteer on the exits, but we just skip towards the end of the lap now. We just brought home 6th place. So here we are, here's the final standings. You can see, look at all the penalties ahead. 1 second, 1 second, 2 second, 1 second, 1 second. The guy behind me had 2 seconds of penalties. Just absolutely insane, really dirty driving overall, but I managed to make up 1 position there overall. You can see, look at my driver there looking quite average, but we just finished that there. So that was today's races there. I hope you enjoyed it like the previous videos. If you haven't watched them, do check the description for the previous video. It'll also be linked at the end of this video if I can get that to work. I've had a bit of trouble getting I've had a bit of trouble in previous uploads of trying to link my previous video and like a recommended video for you at the end there, as I go into the end card section, get it all set up, and it just doesn't seem to work. But I'll give it another go, I guess, and see how that goes. But anyway, the previous video will be in the description, and if you click that video in the description and go to its description, my previous video will also be linked in there. So that's something I'm going to do. I'm always going to link my previous video in the description of the current video, just so you can backtrack to the very start, which is me talking to nobody about nothing, because I hadn't put any content out at that point. But anyway, that's it for the races this week. If you enjoyed, do hit the like button, and do consider subscribing if you like these style of videos. Also, you can follow the Instagram, which is where I post most of the stuff for... Actually, it's where I post all of the stuff that's not videos to do with this channel here. So please do consider doing that. It's also linked in the description and in the links section of my page. But that's it from me. I do thank you for watching all the way to the end here. And please look out for more videos this week. I've got another one planned for Interlagos, and I've got a race with... got some interesting races actually to do with tyre wear on race C for this week. I didn't do any race A as I didn't really feel too gravitated towards it. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.